All right, here we go. This one's going to be a 40 Smith & Wesson versus 357 SIG test. And today we have some Winchester Ranger T-Series ammo to try out. So for the 40, that one is 165 grain. That's what that one looks like. It does have your nickel-plated brass on that. And that one is rated at 1140 feet per second. And for the 357 SIG, that one is 125 grain. Nice wide hollow point cavity on that. Also nickel plated, and that one was rated at 1350 feet per second. So I have tested these before, but I don't believe against each other. So we're going to see how they do today. So for the 40, we're going to be going out of our Beretta 96 FS. That one does have a 4.9 inch barrel. And for a 357 SIG, we're going to be using our Glock 31. That one does have a 4.5 inch barrel. So both full size. So we'll be going through our gel. That is a 10% block. Do have our catch block behind that, so total 22 inches of gel. Our 4 layers of cotton t-shirt on the front, and like always, we'll set up a chronograph so we can hopefully pick up those impact velocities. So let's set up and see how these things do head to head. First one up will be that 40 Smith & Wesson. All right, we're stepping back to 15 feet. All right, let's see how we did on that one. All right, looks like our impact velocity on that one was 1115 feet per second. So we got pretty close to that average size. So definitely good to see there. All right, so it looks like we did get a pretty good hit on that one. Like always, you can see right down in that cavity. It does have a really nice star pattern so far. So let's check it out from the top. Oh yeah, that's looking really good so far. Nice wide splitting. Really good spiral cuts going through there. And it does look like that one just barely made it into that second block. So let's see if we can get a pretty good measurement on top. So like always, I will cut these open later and do our cross sections and all that so we can get a little bit more accurate measurement. But for now, let's see. So it looks like we are just shy. Actually, we were right at 2 inches on that one. So really good to see, especially for that full size. Because when I do these out of the subcompact, they really have a hard time expanding, especially through that cotton t-shirt. Check that out. That looks really good so far. So that one came in, opened up, and you can see some really nice cuts going throughout there. And that one did go all the way through. It does look like it settled down a little bit towards the end, and then you can kind of see that round. Looks like it barely made it into that second block. So let's see what kind of measurement we have from the side. So from the side, definitely looks a little bit bigger. We're right at 2.5 inches from the side, so that's actually really nice. So let's see what kind of penetration we got. We're gonna have to move this block just a little bit. So as you can see, that thing barely made it in, so I'd probably call that 1/4 inch or so. It really didn't make it too far at all. So that is 11.25 inches of penetration. So really not all that much, but still pretty good. So let's set up for that 357 SIG and see how that one does. All right, we're stepping back to 15 feet. All right, let's see how we did on that one. All right, so impact velocity on that was 1,489 feet per second. So this one is a little bit older batch, and I have noticed that the older batch is quite a bit warmer than that newer stuff. So Awesome to see there. That is right at 357 Magnum power right there. And usually that Ranger T is some pretty nasty stuff. So let's see how we did. All right, so there's the entry on that one. So it looks like we got a nice comparative hit right there. And the same thing as that last one, you can see right down in that cavity. And this one has a huge star pattern right here. So let's check it out from the top. Oh yeah, that's crazy so far. So it looks like we did actually have a blowout here on the top. And man, that thing stretched all the way over into that 40. I don't know if the camera's picking that up, but it's real light. But man, that is crazy. So it looks like that thing came in and we just dumped all kinds of energy in that. And we did carry all the way through. And that one did actually make it into that second block, but not very far. So let's see if we can get a measurement on this one. This one's crazy though. So like I said, it pretty much ends, I know the camera's not picking up that angle right, but way over here into that 40. So let's see if we can get a decent measurement on that one. So all the way over, we are right just shy of 4 inches. So man, that is crazy right there. And like I said, that one was right on par with 357 Magnum. So that thing really dumped some energy there. So let's check it out from the side. So from the side is looking pretty good too. So it looks like as soon as that thing came in, pretty much immediately started opening up. Like I said, this one did have a blowout, so it didn't really go too far down, but more out of the top. But quite a bit of energy dump there. Looking really good. And that one really didn't settle down too much until maybe that last inch or so, and then we just start to flatline. And it does look like there's a few fragments in there also. So let's see if we can get a measurement from the side. So from the side to the very top, right at 2.5 inches. So not as much from the side, but still pretty darn good. And like I said, we did make it into that second block, but just barely. Pretty much like that 40. So, you know, not too far at all. So at our leading edge, we are right at 3/4 of an inch. So that one made it 11 3/4 inches. So 1/2 inch further than that 40, but just a huge, you know, huge amount of energy dump on that. So really good to see. So check them out one more time from the top. So the one on the right is the 40, one on the left is that 357 SIG. So here is that 40. Came in, opened up, nice, perfect star pattern going on. And it did carry that pretty much the whole way. It did start to settle down just a little bit towards the end, and we barely made it into that second block on that. And for that 357, man, that one's just super impressive. Excuse me, especially out of that full size, that thing was really moving. So same with this one. It came in and just pretty much blew up in there. Huge amount of energy dump right there at the first probably 2/3 of the block. Carried through really well. Did start to settle down a little bit towards the end, and you can see that round resting down in there. So let's pull these things out and see what they look like. Actually, I'm gonna do one kind of still shot right up here. I got a request to kind of do it like this so they can get an idea what those, you know, cavities are looking like together. All right, check these things out. They both got some awesome expansion. Super uniform on those. So the one on the right is at 40, one on the left is at 357 SIG. So let's check out that 40. Man, couldn't ask for a better expansion on that one. That thing is huge. That's a really big slug. But perfect expansion. This one does have a ton of gel still left in it, so we will rinse that out later before we get our still shots. But man, check that out. And these Ranger T's are no joke. That's one nasty round right there. Super sharp pedal sticking back. One nasty round. And those 165s, like I said, have a hard time out of that subcompact short barrel, but this full size always does great. But man, that is nasty right there. But there we go. There was that 40. Excuse me. And that 357 SIG. Same thing with that one. Awesome expansion. Super uniform. Picture perfect on that. Same thing with that. You can see those pedals just perfectly peeled back. This one does have a lot of that gel in there too. But man, that is one wicked round. Definitely one of my favorite rounds, pretty much in any caliber. I know a lot of people don't really care for them, but every test I've done, for the most part, they usually expand really well. Man, that is a nasty round right there. And that thing was moving for that 357 SIG. So check them out one more time from the bottom. You can definitely tell that 40 is a little bit bigger. Man, check those things out. Those are some sharp pedals on that thing. And one more time from the top. And like always, we'll do our screenshots and slow-mo, all that good stuff here at the end. There we go, guys. That one was 40 Smith & Wesson versus 357 SIG in the full size. Thanks for watching. All right, here's that cross section for that 40. This thing has some really nice big splits going on. Huge cutting. Same thing on this other side. I did remeasure both of these, and right at the peaks on both are right at 2 3/4 inches. So we got quite a bit of damage going on there. You can see just some huge splits. Perfect star pattern. So let's cut this open. All right, and here's after being cut. So this bottom is the right side, this top is the left. So you can see as soon as this thing came in, probably 1/4 inch or so, started opening up. We have a huge stretch cavity going on throughout this whole thing. Ton of damage going on. And I don't know if you guys can see that, but right there, and there's one on this top. I actually pulled one out. There's really tiny pieces of like copper, real small pieces of copper shrapnel that kind of came off that round. But it's just some huge cutting. There's a little bit of that cotton t-shirt that it drug in, not too much, but man, that thing really did some damage. And there are some pretty nice clean cuts also. So same in this top. Came in, opened up, you can see that nice stretch cavity going on, just creating all kinds of damage. And same thing, nice deep cuts going on throughout that whole block. The thing was pretty impressive. Wasn't the fastest round out there, even, you know, being out of that full size, but it really created some pretty nice damage. So there we go. There was that 40 Smith & Wesson Winchester Ranger T-Series. All right, and here's that cross section for that 357 SIG. So this one was super impressive. We have some huge splits, huge cuts going on. Same thing on this other side. There's actually a piece of lead right there that it did shed. But man, just some huge cutting. I did remeasure these at their widest spots. They're right at 3 3/4 inches. So that thing was really creating some massive damage going on. But yeah, you can see those splits. They're just huge. So let's cut this thing open. All right, so here's after being cut. So this bottom is the right side, this top is the left. So you can see right here, as soon as this one came in, started opening up, and we have a huge stretch cavity going on. And look at those cuts, man. That thing is just nasty. That was definitely a pretty wicked round coming through. That thing had some speed too. But man, those cuts are super deep in there. Same on this top side. You can see came in, pretty much immediately started opening up, and same thing, you see that stretch going all the way through. There's a little bit of that cotton t-shirt here towards the end, but man, that is nasty stuff. You can see that piece of lead that it did shed in there. But man, just some crazy cuts going on, super duper deep. That thing was almost 1,500 feet per second, so very impressive for that Winchester. That is some older stuff that I had, so they definitely knew how to load that stuff right. Check that out. But there we go. That was the 357 SIG 125 grain Winchester Ranger T-Series. I'll actually show one more quick angle just so you guys can really see how deep those things are, but just massive cutting. Crazy what that thing was doing. There we go. Thanks for watching, guys.